So once you realize, oh, okay, so our life is made of receiving and giving, you have to be more specific about what to give and what to receive. And the more you share, more you give, more you receive. Because if you believe in your beautiful future, you don't mind going through this sacred fire of nothingness. And if you can go through nothingness, nothing bothers you.
Hi everyone, this is Kristina Mand-Lakhiani, co-founder of Mind Valley, and welcome to my Honest Conversations. Today I have a very interesting guest. My guest today is Ken Honda. He's a best-selling author of Happy Money and also widely famous in Japan. I understand, Ken, that you've written quite a few books which have become bestsellers in Japan and not only. And welcome, Ken, to Honest Conversations.
Thank you, Christina. It's so great to see you. And it's amazing that I'm in Tokyo, you're in Estonia, and we can just have a chat without any, disturbances.
Oh, you're in Tokyo. That's awesome. I want to go straight into the topic of your conversation, but this morning when I was thinking about our interview, I was, this question was bugging me. So Ken talks about energy of money or money EQ,
Yes.
actually,
Mhm.
not just energy. So can you explain to people who maybe don't know what you're teaching, what does it mean, happy money?
Yeah, there are two kinds of money in the world, happy money and unhappy money. Happy money, you know it because when you receive it, you feel so joyful, you feel loved. And when you spend it, also you feel very happy about it. Whereas 95% of us are in the flow of unhappy money. When we receive money, we get upset. When we spend money, or when we try to spend money, we get upset, over the bills we have to pay, the taxes. So we feel so stressed out around money. And luckily, a very fortunate 1% or maybe 2% of the people on this planet are in the flow of happy money. It doesn't really matter how much money you have, how much money you make. It's about your feeling. If you're happy, your money can be happy too. So it's just about your attitude toward money. So when you receive it, you have this emotional reaction. Say if you get a check from the government or your husband or from relative or work, you feel like, oh, is this all I get? I'm upset or angry or frustrated or fear.
Ken, in my case, it's like, oh, I have to deal with that. I don't know you, who you are.
Yes. So money can be a stranger. So
Mhm.
my favorite question is, if money were a person, who would it be? Would it be a kind person? Would it be a happy person or a mean, terrible person try to
Mhm.
hurt you? So if you want money to be your best friend, it can be. And but you have to heal your pain around money, around your past experiences with money.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you just you confused. Some people are lucky that half of their life they don't have to think of money. I think
Mhm.
you're a money indifferent type,
Mhm.
or a queen type, like, oh, some take care of my financial thing. Thank you, and
Mhm.
then they do it for you. So some people have to just face a reality, one way or another. And that way, money is a very important part of role. If you're brought up in a wealthy family, you don't have to deal with money issues. But money can bring you down to reality, which I think is a most beautiful part of it all too. And also that's why it's helping people to feel closer. Because of financial problem, I think all the people on the planet will start feeling that we are connected.
Mhm.
And without this feeling, we cannot solve all the problems, environmental problems and social political problems. So this is actually a good thing for me from my perspectives, that finally we need to be more grounded, we need to be more realistic, and we need to be more idealistic about life.
Mm. Interesting. It's funny you said there are money in different type, but the ironic thing is that I wasn't born or grown in a rich environment. I was born in
Mhm.
Soviet Union, and I'm wondering if this unfamiliarity with money has to do with the ideal of the Soviet Union. When I was a kid, I was taught about communism, and money will not exist, and people will have whatever they need just because the state will
Yes.
provide for that. So I wonder, I got it from some odd source, and my parents were actually not so rich, and maybe it is my way of dealing with the trauma of not having money in the past, that I
Yeah,
just
you can
erased it
be.
from my consciousness.
You can be money in different type too, if
Mm-hmm.
you are just born into a family and you didn't have so many like hardships in life. Some people don't care. Like I have a few friends. I always have fun watching my friends. One of my friends, he has tons of money, but he is always worried about money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't need to. And there's another friend who doesn't have any money, but he doesn't care because he's a happy person. He's a happy soul. And his friends take care of him and his wife takes care of him. So he doesn't have to deal with money. So if you happen to be with somebody who always take good care of you, you don't have to do that. So, money in different type is an interesting creature. Uh, and once your caretaker is gone, deceased or divorced or some other reason, you have to be in a driver's seat. And then you realize that you're being driven in a very comfortable car. And then now you have to drive. Oh, you have to worry about the gas, how to pay,
Mm-hmm.
how to get the money. But our life is made of giving and receiving. So money is a very fun tool to learn about life because we are in this cycle of receiving and giving.
Mm-hmm.
We do something for other people, that's why we get money. And then some people do something for us, that's why we pay for the food, the bills, and taxes. So we are in the cycle of being taken care of and taking care of other people. And if you realize what's going on, I think it's very beautiful because we are dependent on each other. And
Mm-hmm.
globally too, we depend on natural resources, and and on an exchange you may return something back. That's how economy circulates. So once you realize, oh, okay, so our life is made of receiving and giving, you have to be more specific about what to give and what to receive. And the more you share, more you give, more you receive. So it's a law.
Mm-hmm. I want to ask you this because you keep saying about us taking care of each other, as our interdependence, and also a few examples of people who maybe are not so wealthy but are quite happy about their money, and then the other way around. So, what's the ultimate goal of having a good relationship with money? Is it about earning more, or is it something else?
The key is abundance. If you feel abundant about life, so no matter how much you make, how much you spend, if there's a beautiful flow, and then you don't have to be so uptight about it. Uh, you don't have to be so careful about it anymore. So that's sort of like a ideal situation. You don't have to be super wealthy in order to be happy. So I think, um, you know, realistically, if you just reach a level of financial happiness and certain abundance, you don't have to do so many things. All you have to do is find your gifts, find your true calling, and start living it. And you don't have to be super well known, or you don't have to, sell millions of products under your name. So, uh, realistically, I think I've written about 20 or 30 books on how to find gifts, and how to monetize your gifts is my favorite topic, and I'm known for that. I'm known as a magician to find gifts and turn that into money.
Can you tell me more about the gifts? Because this is super curious. I know it myself because I started speaking and being an author fairly recently after having been in this industry for a long time and having met super successful people like yourself. And of
Mhm.
course, I always compare myself to others. And whenever we're talking about gifts, we always think like, oh, I like to do this, but there are people who do this so well. They're well known. I can never be that. How do
Yes.
you get over that barrier, and how do you really commit to something and believe in that?
I think the first step is find who you are first. Otherwise, if as long as you compare yourself with other people, you that's a shortcut to unhappiness. And if you want to compare so much, you should compare yourself from you yesterday you, not any other people. So if you want to improve yourself, that's fine. But we are born with different gifts. Some are smarter, some they are better at speaking, they're better at writing, they're better at selling, marketing. So don't compare with other people because you have your own seat. So one of my best friend, Toshi, he wrote a book, Find Your Reserved Seat. Everybody is prepared. We have a reservation in the train or airplane that's like 35B, but we want to seat different, in a different seat,
Mhm,
like a window view or wherever the seats are. But we have to find our reserved one, and it may not be the one you like, but that's the seat that you have to take because that way you can shine most. We shine as a star, we shine as a supporter, we shine as somebody who's in the shadow, supporting other people. So not all of us are born into a star. So a lot of people want to be a star, or they feel like they have to be one in order to be successful. But you have to know who you are and find your own gifts. Some people are good at shining. Some people are good at supporting other people to shine. And either way, you can make money. So you have to know who you are and find your best seat. And if you're in the wrong seat, you know it. You feel very different. You feel funny. You feel stressed out. And if you're in the right seat, like, oh, this is my seat, very comfortable. So there's an expression, you're comfortable in your own skin. I think it really tells, exactly where you sit.
mm-hmm. So how do you figure out what is the talent? Because most people are average people,
Yeah,
regular people.
yeah.
Like I'm like
You need
everyone
two
else. What's
days.
my talent?
You, you need 2 days for me to talk about it. I'll just condense it into like 3 minutes.
Okay.
So, I have 1,000 questions to just, to find your gifts. One of it is, for example, what do you spend your time and money on a regular day basis? So do you like reading? Do you like researching? Do you like watching YouTube videos? If you spend a lot of time or a lot of money on certain things, that's where your gifts are.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent so much time reading, and I never thought I'd become a writer, but I ended up on the other side. So I'm sure, Kristen, you loved listening to other people speak, right?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yes. And then you ended up in the other side.
But
So
but a lot of us are spending time not productively, wasting time in a way.
mhm. But there must be something that you like. And also, there may be something that your friends would be surprised. Friends would say, why don't you cook more? Or why don't you do something more? So
Mhm,
those are the things that are related to your gifts. Like, why don't you start your own restaurant? You joke to your friends
mhm,
because she or he finds out that you have a gift of cooking.
mhm.
So your friends know who you are more than you know yourself. And just remember, there are so many questions I can introduce. For example, what were you praised for when you were small? You
Mhm.
were just praised that you're just a good runner, good at math, good with people. And the other question is, what were you scolded most? Like, I was I had been scolded about the same thing. My mother used to tell me, "Shut up, shut up," because I kept talking, right? And I was told to shut up in the classroom too.
Uh-huh.
One teacher complained, "Hey, you talk more than I do." So I was always talking. So I was scolded so badly about speaking out, and it became my profession. So the things you're scolded most usually have something to do with your gifts. Say to be quiet because you have so much to express. You know, stay quiet. You have a lot. You have a lot of gifts in dancing and moving. And if you're scolded for staying too much inside, that means you are a thinker. Instead of just playing baseball outside, you want to stay home and just want to read books because you have a special gift in philosophy or just concept making and art. So whatever you're being scolded for is a gift.
Mm,
So if you're being asked uh, uh, at least like 10 or 20 questions, you kind of figure out maybe I'm gifted in this, gifted in that. And then the second step is you combine those gifts because we tend to think that we need to have only one gift to just make it.
mm,
Uh, Life is not made that way, unless you're a superstar singing or baseball, basketball, or running. We have to combine gifts.
mhm,
For example, if you want to be a great salesperson, you have to combine, you have to be good with people, good with time management and all that. One of my clients, he found a gift. He's loved by animal. And, whenever you just walk, certain like dogs, like cats, they go to those people, not you, because dogs know who they love, and he's like that. So he visited one house, and then the dog didn't bite or bark, and so he was just making just fun fun time with the dog. And the owner came out, and she was super surprised because he was the first person that her dog didn't bark at. So she invited him in, and they had a nice chat, and she trusted him because her ferocious dog trusted him beforehand.
oh,
And she is a boss in the neighborhood.
mm,
So she introduced everybody in the neighborhood, and he became a best salesperson in that branch.
oh wow.
And then he started dog lovers group, and he went to on a bus tour where he invites all the people with dogs and just go to the mountainside and do barbecue. And he doesn't talk about his insurance at all. But whenever somebody needs insurance, everybody would go for him, right?
Mm,
So his life is full of fun because what he does is write newsletters and just plans his next barbecue trip, and then he became the best insurance person. So the gift of being loved by dogs
mhm,
doesn't pay by itself. But
mhm,
if you combine your gifts with other people's skills and with other things, you can be very successful.
mm,
So you have to be aware of what gifts are, and then you have to know how to combine them. And if you are better at doing that, you become one and only.
mm,
And that's why you are successful.
mhm. I immediately have a few questions. One of them is funny
Yes,
though.
please.
What if
Mhm.
you've been scolded for breaking things or doing naughty stuff? Is there
Oh,
talent
yeah.
in that?
That means you are a rebel. You know,
Mm,
you can use the same destructive power to just erase all the bad habits
mhm,
and bad business models. So you can be a great consultant.
mhm.
You can be a great CEO to turn a company from bankruptcy to the company flipper.
Yeah.
you know, they just go into a company that is on the verge of bankruptcy and turn it over. So the people who just love breaking things, they should be that.
Our leaders.
Yes.
Yeah, and I want to ask this. So, it's all good for people who live in the Western fairly affluent environment, because
Mhm.
you can monetize in a way all sorts of interesting gifts.
Mhm.
But when you live, and I have a whole lot of audience in Russia and in India, when you live in the environment where, people just wouldn't make a dog lovers group just because it's so far removed from their everyday life problems. How do you find your gifts there and monetize them? Because uh, some of the gifts might not be required in the circumstances where you exist right now.
You know, the techniques and the things I've been teaching has worked for centuries.
Hmm.
So it's not just right after the internet. You don't have to be a YouTuber to be successful. Where,
Thank God.
where, yes, where people live, there are needs, there are problems, there are things to be solved. If you can solve certain problems in your village or in a small town, you can be more successful than other people. So
Hmm.
just find a niche or find every opportunity that you can serve other people. You become a number one wanted person in the small village. So if you're willing to do anything to help people out, people want you to do something. That is a good start.
Mm.
So you don't have to have a computer or you don't have to have anything. You need to have people.
Mm.
With a relationship with other people, they trust you. They won't ask you to do something. And if you deliver something that they expected or more than they expected, they'll just ask you again and they'll start paying you. And their friends will start asking you to do the same. So whatever you do, driving, cooking, or whatever the very manual thing, um, you will be more successful than other people. So one key is to to be able to do more service, and if you can do that, people will love you. People will be so happy to ask you to do whatever you feel like. And so the beginning stage could be a very very simple, and also probably doesn't pay you much. But this attitude and the energy, once again, of giving and receiving, uh, they don't betray you because the more you give, the more you receive. So just imagine that you do some kind of labor job, to your neighbors. And if you love your service, they'll just ask you to do more. And if you cannot do everything you're being asked, you can hire some support. And then your service will grow. So whatever you do, it'll grow. So I'm not worried about money, or I'm not worried about the future, because wherever I go, I'm abducted somewhere to Iraq or Africa or China,
Mhm.
where I don't speak a language. But after living, there for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, I just figure out what ways I can help people. And if you know how to help people, and um, if you're good at doing that, they love you, and then they'll start paying you. So that is a key. So just find a place where you can be supportive for other people.
Hmm. It's very interesting because I suddenly realized that there's another paradigm shift in what you just said. A lot of people, when they start business, they ask the question, how can I earn money, and how can I earn more money or faster money?
Yeah.
And what you're saying is that to be successful, you need to ask the question, what problems can I solve? I know a lot of people live the life where they serve other people, and that's their main goal. And they would say, I do everything for my family, for my friends. I'm willing to sacrifice my time, everything. I just do things for other people, but I get nothing in return. How do
Mm.
you make the switch from solving people's problems to actually earning money by doing that? Because a lot of people have
Yes.
the biggest block is asking, yeah, I can help you, but I will never ask money for that because I'm doing it altruistically.
Yeah. So thank you, Kristina. I think it's a beautiful question. So I think I was talking about the survival level. Once you're out of the survival level, you have to learn about three things. One circle is what other people want you to do, right? And then the second one is what do you want to do? And also what society wants you to do. So if you can draw three circles and just come up with the idea what's in the middle, and
Mm-hmm.
that's your success point.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to really do what you love to do, and at the same time, what you do helps other people. So if you can do both at the same time, at least you don't have to worry about money for the rest of your life.
Mm. But the key here is the society, because sometimes we don't go beyond our nearest circle, but to
Mhm.
really be wealthy, you obviously need to serve more than just your nearest circle.
Right.
How do you
Yes.
cross over there?
I think it's your passion. You know, I've seen so many authors, right? And they write what they love to do because they're a writer, and they sell certain books like 10,000 people and 10,000 books or 30,000 books, but they don't go out more than that. It's because their passion level is not as high. If your vision is involving society, like I talk about happiness and money all the time, but it's not just my happiness and your happiness. I'm just envisioning how the world can work. It's
Mhm,
not just a few 100,000 people. I'm talking about billions of people. If 7 billion people start living in a cycle of happy money,
mhm,
what would happen? I'm so super excited about that. And a lot of people just feel the same way. That's why my books are selling by word of mouth.
mhm,
So if you can involve people to be in somewhat your world, your vision, your dream, and if that dream goes beyond your personal area,
mhm,
it's going to grow.
mhm,
So that's what Apple, founder Steve Jobs and Bill Gates and Facebook and all the things started. It's not just a greed, it's just a vision.
mm. That's beautiful. So, talking about visions and happy money, we're getting back in a circle back to where we
Uh-huh.
started. So, do you have any tips for surviving the probable economic meltdowns? How do you
Yes.
keep happy with your money when
Yeah.
obviously this will make you worried?
hmm Once again, it doesn't really matter how much money you have or how much money you make. It's about your attitude. If you get $5, can you be happy? If you get $1, can you be happy? So you have to train yourself to be happier with less money. And also, as I said, find every opportunity to be able to help other people. And if you can do that, people want you. If you
Mhm,
appreciate your life, if you appreciate your boss, your clients, they appreciate you back. So this attitude will just raise you up to a certain level. Don't think about appreciation. I have to appreciate you for, you don't have to appreciate your partner or your kids,
mhm,
right? You just appreciate your child for being there, right?
mhm.
You don't appreciate your child because he or she keeps smiling at you, right? So just appreciate, meaning thank it and also enjoy it.
Mm,
As long as you enjoy what's coming into your life, what's leaving you, like a bad marriage, you need to let it go and you don't hang on to it. Money is the same thing. If you let go of money, another money comes in. So it's more important thing is keep trusting the flow.
mm.
Even the economy is bad, as long as you have a complete trust in you that I'll be well taken care of, you have less worry and no worries about your future.
It's interesting, it brought back a memory for me when I went to work for a student organization in Norway when I was a student. So it was recent after the breakup of Soviet Union. So that huge, economic gap between where I came from and where I lived was still there. So I remember. I wasn't paid much by the student organization, and I wanted to go back to Estonia for Christmas and New Year's, and I didn't have money to pay for my trip back, obviously. So I remember the day when I realized I have hardly anything left. So but I was young, obviously. I didn't have many responsibilities, so I could afford this kind of carelessness. But I looked at the measly money that I had in my wallet, and I thought, oh, let me just spend it then. Let me go and buy something nice for myself. If that's the only thing I have left, let it all go. And I remember how I thought of in university they told us to donate our blood, and this guy would come to the classroom and say, like, guys, go donate your blood, give away your old blood, you don't need it, you'll get new blood. So I
Yeah.
had this analogy in my brain, and I thought, okay, this is little money, let me spend it all. But granted, I was careless, I was young, I could afford being silly. It worked magic. I actually found a job after I spent out all my money, and I actually bought a ticket and traveled to Estonia for Christmas. I do not know, was it magic or what happened?
You don't have to worry about a thing. So it's more of, can you trust your life? Can you trust your future? Is more of the question. Nothing to do with money, because people are worrying about no money situation. But a lot of millionaires, they experience at least 3 times of no money situation before they first reach their $1 million. So can you risk it? Because if you believe in your beautiful future, you don't mind going through this sacred fire of nothingness. And if you can go through nothingness, nothing bothers you. So I've been through this no money situation so many times when I was younger. I don't care about it because it could be an interesting, fun experience for me, So once again, if you start worrying, can you trust life is a question you should ask instead of keep worrying about money.
Ken, you have some magical abilities, because before we went on to the interview with you, I was taking a shower and thinking about a tax I'll have to pay because and why I'm saying you have some magical abilities is this thought came from somewhere. I think it was genius, and it is not mine, so it must have been you, because I was planning to interview with you. So I was thinking to myself, I'm getting this dividend payout, and it's a big one, and I'll have to pay a fairly big tax on that. So I calculated the tax, and I was thinking to myself, oh my God, that's so much money. And then I thought, but come on, it's a tax because I decided to live in Estonia, and it's a privilege to live in Estonia. What if I look at this amount as me paying for the opportunity to live in this amazing country with beautiful weather? And when I looked at it as me buying a service of being allowed to live in this country, it suddenly wasn't such a big money. It was like, yeah, I'd pay that. So this was not my idea. I do not know where it came from, but I thank you because it was right before I was going to the interview with you. So it must have been you.
Great. And also, my mentor Wahe used to say, if you have to pay taxes, that means you made that much money. So just you should be proud of yourself. Wow, my ability to receive is getting bigger. So if I can afford to pay this much tax, that means I can, double my money container. So that means this is great news. I can receive more next year. Because you have to pay your taxes anyway. So I enjoy paying taxes. That is sort of like the master level of happy money.
Taxes, yeah.
Yes. Wow, I get to pay this much money. And it's so much fun because, I know government is not the most efficient agency in the world, but a certain money goes to childcare, just, helping nurses and helping people who are in financial need. I feel like so privileged to be able to pay so much money for taxes because it's doing some good too. So if you shift a little bit and just think in terms of happy money, you have a beautiful life.
Thank you so much. It was such a beautiful conversation. I really enjoyed it, and it made me feel so much more curious about this entity which is now entering my life. So thanks a lot for that. For those who are going to be watching in recording, I want to traditionally ask you to leave a heart and your love to Ken for his happiness and generosity and the warm energy and for just being such a great start of the day for me. So thank you so much for finding time and coming and talking. And I can feel that there is so much more behind this 1 hour that we managed to cover that I'd really like to find out more, to read more, to learn more from you. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much. And before I end, you have this archetype that keeps attracting all the money you need. So I can guarantee you for the rest of your life, you don't have to worry about money because somebody else will take good care of it. So
Thank you.
don't worry about it.
I will do my, yes, I won't worry about it. Thank you.
Yeah, somebody will do it for you. So, enjoy your miracles because it's more fun that somebody else will do it for you.
That's so true.
Yeah.
So thank you, everyone, and see you again. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody. Love you all.